From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, India is a spellbinding mosaic of culture, tradition, languages, and an extraordinary mingling civilization. Keeping its age-old culture maintained, today the country is taking huge strides on the path of development. Hello, I'm your host Uzma Jafri, and today in our episode of My India, we bring you some of the stories that will give a glimpse of our country's diversity. Different cultures worship different deities for food and abundance. The Meitei tribe of Manipur worships goddess Emoinu to bless them with peace and prosperity through a ritual named as Emoinu Eratpa. As the main offering to the goddess is a silver fish curry, authorities this year organized a fish festival to add on the festivities and serve as a one-stop shop for locals to buy all the offerings for goddess Emoinu. Take a look.
A popular saying goes, the greatness of a culture is found in its festivals. As India is a land of fairs and festivals, it is quite common for people to capture Indian traditions and cultures at different festivals. Of a plethora of festivals celebrated by different tribes in the Manipur state, the Emoinu festival holds a special mention. Recently, the people of the Meitei community in Imphal city of Manipur celebrated the festival where the mother goddess of peace and prosperity, Emoinu, was worshipped.
Emoinu Eratpa is associated with the goddess of wealth and prosperity. So for the Meitei, worshipping this deity means you are likely to have good harvest in this year, agricultural year, and you are likely to accumulate wealth in the terms of agricultural products, cattle and all that.
For the festival, a ritual called the Emoinu Eratpa is performed at home and public places. People light candles to welcome the goddess and offer fruits, fish and fresh harvest to the deity and pray to the goddess for happiness and abundance. The main dish of the festival is a well-prepared meal with a white fish curry being main offering to the deity. Marking the celebrations, musical and dance performances were also organized in the evening, which was enjoyed by the locals.
We have seen two ways of worshipping. One is inside the household. There is a particular place we call is Punga, where we make prayer. And another is in certain places like in Kobru. There is a shrine of the goddess, and the Chengai Singh also there is. And in every royal palace of the Meitei kings also there is particular place kept for this goddess. The significance of observing this particular day is worshipping the Emoinu goddess for getting us abundance of wealth, and also this is one of the goddess of Meiteis which gives ethical codes that a human being follow in their daily life. So it is about to get energy, life force energy and abundance of wealth.
As the white fish is the main ingredient that is offered to the deity on this festival, the Fisheries Department organized an Emoinu Fish Festival at Hapta Kangjebung in Imphal East. A total of 90 stalls were set up by different departments as well as private firms free of cost. In a way, the festival is a one-stop center for public to easily buy all items required for Emoinu Eratpa, as vegetables and other offerings were also present at the fair. The prices of the fishes were set by the Fisheries Department, and therefore the fair was thronged by a large number of locals.
The speciality of this particular festival or ritual is that on this day we offer white or silverly colored fish to the goddess Emoinu, and we also believe that by offering the fresh fish, fresh vegetables and other eatable fruits will bring prosperity and progress. Altogether we have 90 stalls open this time during this festival, and out of this 60 has been earmarked for the fishery stall.
History goes that worshipping goddess Emoinu began in the 5th century when only the royals of the Meitei community were allowed to worship the goddess. Later in the 15th century, commoners also started worshipping the deity. The festival is celebrated by different names in different parts of the state.
Moving on. In the multicultural society of India, mass marriages are setting in vogue these days. Recently, 300 couples belonging to Hindu and Muslim communities in the Aligarh district of Uttar Pradesh tied the nuptial knot during a mass wedding ceremony organized by the state government. In addition to being financially advantageous, these unions serve as a wonderful illustration of the nation's prevailing fraternity and unity.
In the state of Uttar Pradesh, around 300 couples belonging to Hindu and Muslim communities exchanged wedding vows in the presence of their relatives and friends. The ceremonies were conducted by priests and religious leaders in accordance with their respective religions. In addition to fostering a sense of social harmony between the two communities, these celebrations allow the members of society to lavishly celebrate their nuptials without any financial burden. Mass marriages are getting immense popularity these days.
ये एक बहुत बड़ा संदेश है कि बहुभाषी और बहुधर्मी देश में, समाज में एक ही परिसर में एक तरफ काजी निकाह पढ़ा रहा है, मुस्लिम जो मत के मतावलंबी हैं उनकी शादी के रूप में, और दूसरी तरफ भावरें पढ़ रही हैं जो हिंदू मत को मानने वाले लोग हैं। तो ये एक प्रकार का संदेश भी है कि हम लोगों को इसी समाज में रहना है, तो मिलजुल के रहना है। सरकारें सबके लिए समान रूप से कार्य करती हैं, तो सरकार की ओर से जो आयोजन है उसमें कोई भेदभाव नहीं है। उसमें हिंदू भी हैं, उसमें मुस्लिम्स भी हैं, उसमें अन्य मजहब के मानने वाले लोग भी हैं, और सबके लिए उनकी मजहब के अनुसार, उनकी मान्यताओं के अनुसार विवाह की व्यवस्था की गई है, और सबके लिए जो भी व्यवस्था है उस सबको समान रूप से की जाएगी।
An initiative undertaken by the state government is garnering praise among different communities in Uttar Pradesh. The state government has also increased the funds spent on these ceremonies. This year, each bride received Rs 35,000 along with household stuff like kitchen utensils, clothes and more.
ये जो भी हो रहा है खैर सही हो रहा है। सरकार की तरफ से जो यहाँ पर सुविधा दी गई है गरीबों के लिए, जो गरीब माँ बाप अपने बच्चों के लिए, अपनी बच्चियों के लिए काफ़ी उनके अरमान होते हैं शादी करने के, लेकिन काफ़ी सालों तक वो पैसा भी जमा करते हैं, लेकिन गरीब इंसान, मजदूर इंसान नहीं कर पाता है वो। लेकिन ये सरकार की तरफ से जो है काफ़ी सुविधा दी जाती है, और हमारे हिंदू भाई भी हैं, हिंदू बहनें भी हैं, उनकी भी शादी है, और मुस्लिम जो है मुस्लिमों में से भी काफ़ी बच्ची यहाँ पर आई हुई हैं।
Blending in with the new culture of mass marriages in the country, many couples from impoverished sections and different communities are coming up to participate in the event, making their wedding celebrations a grand affair. The successful event represented the conglomeration of a wide range of Indian cultures and communities, displaying unity and oneness present among the people of India.
Now, a roundup of some of the major stories that made news recently.
Devotees in different parts of India throng temples to offer prayers and seek blessings on the first day of the new year. The famous Siddhivinayak temple, situated in western Mumbai city, received a huge number of devotees early in the day who prayed to Hindu elephant god Ganesha for well-being and happiness of their families. Meanwhile, braving the winter chill, devotees also took holy dips in the river Ganga in northern Haridwar city to mark the occasion.
अंग्रेजी नववर्ष के प्रथम दिन हम मां गंगा के चरणों में डुबकी लगाने आए, जिससे कि हमारा ये आने वाला नववर्ष देश व प्रदेश के लिए खुशहाली भरा रहे, हमारी सबकी मनोकामनाएं पूर्ण हो। इस उद्देश्य को लेकर के हम आज यहाँ स्नान करने आए।
Similar scenes were witnessed at eastern Puri town, where Jagannath temple, dedicated to Lord Jagannath, a form of Hindu god Vishnu, saw devotees turning up from different parts of the country. People in India believe that the blessings of God should be sought before beginning anything new, more so on the first day of the year. Monks and devotees thronged India's eastern Buddhist holy city of Bodh Gaya to pray for the long life of the exiled Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. The 3-day program saw the 87-year-old Nobel Peace Prize-winning monk blessing other monks and devotees alike after he delivered sermons in the city where Buddha is said to have attained spiritual enlightenment under a tree 2,500 years ago.
The Dalai Lama for the long life. It's been a very special and unique experience being here with everyone coming from around the world and being able to share in this prayer and in this celebration and being in his presence is something that words cannot describe. I hope to take this with me and share this with people back home.
Media reports said while addressing his followers, the Dalai Lama said that the Chinese government has been destroying Buddhist temples despite China having a large Tibetan community and thus attempting to eradicate Buddhism from the country. India hosts a large community of Tibetans, including the exiled leader, the Dalai Lama, one of the main sources of friction with neighboring China, which accuses the Nobel laureate of stirring unrest. People across India marked the New Year celebrations last week with dance and music as the clock struck midnight. A huge crowd gathered in India's western Panaji city to dance to Bollywood songs and enjoy performances after 2 years of muted celebrations due to the coronavirus pandemic.
ये 2023 का जो आज सेलिब्रेशन हो रहा है ये बहुत स्पेशल इसलिए है कि पिछले 2 साल हम कोरोना की वजह से सारा सेलिब्रेशन डैम्प था, लेकिन ये साल वी आर जस्ट रॉकिंग एंड वी आर एंजॉयिंग एंड सेलिब्रेटिंग.
People in India's western Mumbai city lit firecrackers to mark the special occasion. Meanwhile, security was heightened to prevent any untoward incident at various locations.
Sufism has entrenched itself at the center of cultural and spiritual life in India. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir serves as the richest reservoir of this tradition, and this can be well witnessed during the Urs of Sufi saints, when people cutting across religious lines gather under one roof. So, giving a glimpse of this unique devotional culture, today we take you to the 44th Urs commemoration of Mian Mehmood Nakashbandi, which was recently commemorated in the Rajouri district of Jammu and Kashmir.
The shrine of Sufi saint Mian Mehmood Nakashbandi, located in Peacock Village of the Rajouri district, is an abode of peace and tranquility. People cutting across all religious barriers gathered at the shrine to attend the 44th Urs of the holy saint. They offered special prayers at the shrine and wished for peace and prosperity to prevail across the nation.
इस इलाके और बस्ती के लोग बड़ी शान और शौकत के साथ करते हैं, जिसमें बिला लिहाज मज़हब व मिल्लत हिंदू मुस्लिम सब लोग यहाँ पर शरीक होकर हज़रत किबला मियाँ महमूद रहमतुल्लाह ताला अलैह के उर्स में मुल्क की अमन और भाईचारे के लिए और मुल्क की तामीर और तरक्की के लिए यहाँ पर दुआएं होती हैं और आपसी भाईचारे के लिए यहाँ पर दुआएं होती हैं.
As part of celebrations, Sufi scholars and imams summoned the public on the life, religious services, teachings and spiritual strength of the saint who devoted himself in service of the public good. Forming an integral part of the public ethos for the last several centuries, even today the Sufi traditions play an important role in the lives of the people and connote them with an understanding of the world in all spiritual dimensions. Community kitchen or langar was also set up at the outdoors to serve meals as holy sacrament to the devotees coming from different regions.
मियाँ महमूद नक्शबंदी रहमतुल्लाह ताला अलैह के हवाले से यही अर्ज़ करूँगा कि इस आसमान के नीचे हज़ारों लाखों अरबों खरबों की तादाद में लोग जीते हैं, ज़िंदगी बसर करते हैं, लेकिन जो मियाँ महमूद रहमतुल्लाह ताला अलैह और या इनकी जमात के जितने लोग हैं, यानी जिन्हें हम औलिया किराम के नाम से याद करते हैं, जिनका तज़किरा जा बजा कलामुल्लाह शरीफ में है, हदीस तैयबा में, इनका जीना बाकी लोगों से अलग थलग होता है. ये अल्लाह की रज़ा के लिए जीते हैं, इनका हर काम अल्लाह की रज़ा के लिए होता है. ये अल्लाह के बंदों की खिदमत करते हैं, मखलूक खुदा की खिदमत करते हैं. तो फिर अल्लाह तबारक व तआला लोगों के दिलों में इनकी मोहब्बत डाल देता है और ये बुजुर्गान दीन जो है इनका फिर मरने के बाद नाम भी ज़िंदा रहता है।
Communal harmony is a required facet for maintaining peace and tranquility in the multicultural and diverse society like India. The Urs commemoration of the Sufi saint and the number of devotees coming to the shrine clearly indicates that the lesson of humanity and compassion towards all religious communities is still having its roots deeply embedded in the culture and traditions of India.
And now we bring you a few short stories about the recent developments and happenings from around the world in our section of World in Focus.
Dressed in Ukrainian colors under bright lights, 13-year-old circus acrobat Maria Kravchenko dazzles an audience in Hungary. It is a much different setting than her home in Dnipro, where she practiced in unheated shelters while a war raged around her. Kravchenko is performing at Budapest's capital circus along with young acrobats from Kharkiv, Kyiv, Odisha and Donetsk as part of a Ukrainian youth circus festival to showcase their talent. The Ukrainian artists are between 6 and 17. They gave more than 30 performances alongside competitors from around the world. Peter Fikit is the circus's director. He said all regular programs were stopped for 2 days in January and the keys to the circus were handed to the Ukrainians. Before the war, the Yaskrava Arena Dnipro International Children's Circus Festival was held every year in Dnipro. Since it began in 2010, more than 1,000 young artists have participated, with the winners regularly advancing to international festivals. For Kravchenko, she is focusing on her art in relative peace while she can. The Fukushima town of Japan has become a fruit hub and a wide variety of fruits are produced in the city, especially from the early spring season to winters. Farmers cultivate fruits like grapes, peaches and pear with passion and skills. This attracts visitors and tourists to Fukushima city.
初夏の果物としてはですね、まずさくらんぼから始まりまして、そして、夏場の最大の品目であります桃、そして、梨、ぶどう、りんご、そして冬場にはですね、加工品であるあんぽ柿と、ほとんどですね、季節を問わずですね、果物が生産されているのが福島でございまして、フルーツ王国福島でございます。日本のね、ぶどう業界のね、救世主でもあるシャインマスカットですね、今皮ごと食べられると、非常に若い人からですね、あるいは高齢の方まで非常に好まれている。これもですね、年々今増えておりますね。
It's been 11 years since an earthquake had hit the eastern part of Japan. Fukushima town has recovered and has started attracting tourists and foreigners. At a recent fashion show held in Hong Kong, attendees could not help but notice something alien about the new designs worn by models on the narrow catwalk. Masked in monochrome blue, with some in down jackets tied to translucent skirts, fashion models of the Fashion X AI collection strutted past rows crammed with wowed critics and fashion designers. Attendee Cynthia Say said it felt like she was witnessing the future of fashion.
I think the face covering is definitely alien-like and exciting. I mean, you think about what the future of fashion would be like, and what type of material we will be wearing, how light it would be. I think one special unique thing I noticed about this collection is it all seems to be quite light. The material seems to be quite light, and that's quite exciting to see.
Over 80 outfits designed by 14 different fashion designers from Fashion X AI were all done in part with the assistance of Artificial Intelligence Software AIDA, short for AI-based Interactive Design Assistant. The software was developed by PhD students and academics at the Hong Kong-based AID Lab. According to AID Lab CEO Calvin Wong, the software was not created to replace fashion designers, but to serve as a supporting tool. AIDA, the world's first designer-led AI system for fashion, was officially launched with the Fashion X AI show on December 19 and is currently available to designers in Europe and Asia Pacific. Fukushima town in Japan has recovered after the 2011 earthquake that took place in East Japan. Authorities in Fukushima are doing continuous efforts to ensure that the safety measures are maintained in the city. This includes the continuous checking and disclosing of radiation levels in the city.
福島県の主要都市の空間線量率の推移の表になります。こちら23年の4月からこちら令和3年の9月までですけれども、空間線量率は急激に下がってその後横ばいという形で、現在の空間線量率というのはかなり低い水準に保たれております。福島県の空間線量を世界と比較しますと、例えばソウルでいけば 0.12 マイクロシーベルトパーアワーですし、世界の主要都市とほぼ同水準の空間線量率になっております。
Authorities in Fukushima Prefecture have set up monitoring posts in different cities and towns to detect radiation. This data is being collected and published also by the authorities. Earlier, importing Fukushima's food products was banned in around 55 countries, which has now been decreased to 12. Citizens and administration in Fukushima are doing continuous efforts that this number reduces down to 0.
A little kindness often goes a long way. Pannu Behera, a man in a small village of Odisha, addressed the injury of a few peacocks years ago. Today, his legacy is being carried forward by his grandson and fellow villagers. The number of peacocks in the village has reached to 163. Let's take you to the Peacock Village of India.
If you are looking for a quick getaway, far from the hustle and bustle of the city, the Peacock Valley is just the right spot for you. Situated around 30 kilometers away from Odisha's capital Bhubaneswar lies the small village of Naraj, which has earned the epaulet of being the Peacock Valley of Odisha. At a time when we often read about poaching, this village has set an example of how compassion for a fellow creature has put a small village on the tourism and wildlife map of the country.
दिस इज़ रियल एक्साइटिंग और न्यू ईयर नया साल पीकॉक से स्टार्ट करना इज़ द बेस्ट थिंग. और यहाँ पे इतने पीकॉक हैं मैंने आज तक कहीं पे नहीं देखे और दे आर सो क्लोज. और वो यहीं पे वो हम जैसे फ्रेंडली होके खा रहे हैं, वो भैया उनको खिला रहे हैं, तो वो देखने बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
According to locals, in the year 1999, this area was struck by a cyclone and a local named Pannu Behera found some peacocks in distress. He attended to them but did not cage the birds. Soon, more peacocks joined him and everybody started calling him the Peacock Man. After Behera's demise, his grandson is taking his legacy forward. The number of peacocks reached around 108 before the pandemic. Today, it stands over at 163. Although peacocks are the main attraction, it is not unusual for tourists to spot other small birds here to share the food.
लॉकडाउन से पहले लगभग 108 पीकॉक थे. अभी लॉकडाउन में जब लोग यहाँ पर आ नहीं रहे थे तभी उनका डिस्टर्ब मत हुआ, पीकॉक डिस्टर्ब नहीं होकर अभी 163 से ज़्यादा हो गए पीकॉक.
It presents a good opportunity for the government to consider the heritage site as an ecotourism spot. This will fulfill the dual motive of protecting the environment as well as respecting our national bird.
That's all we have for you this week. Your comments and suggestions are important to us. Do give us your feedback at myindia@anin.com. I'm your host Uzma and it's goodbye from the entire production team.